Thank you, Chair. I am so glad that Assemblymember Arnold has brought this motion. It is something we discussed last summer, and so I'm very pleased to hear it today. However, I am proposing an amendment, not to detract from this motion or to water down its aims, but to make it more inclusive of the asks of campaigners, and those are the voices I'm bringing to the Assembly today. So this motion recognises the UN's International Decade for Peoples of African Descent and asks that the Mayor's work reflects some of the actions listed in the decade. It rightly highlights celebrating Black history, improving education and anti-discrimination policies. We on the Green Group believe there is a simple to fix omission in this motion, and that is the issue of reparatory justice. The UN International Decade for Peoples of African Descent also has under the Programme of Activities for Justice, for the Justice theme, the text, and I quote, inviting the international community and its members to honour the memory of the victims of these tragedies with a view to closing these dark chapters in history and as a means of reconciliation and healing. Further noting, and I continue to quote, that some have taken the initiative of regretting or expressing remorse or presenting apologies and calling on all those that have not yet contributed to restoring the dignity of the victims to find appropriate ways to do so, and to this end appreciating those countries that have done so. In London, we owe so much to Africans and people of African descent, and not just here in this city, but in our connections and communities all over the world. Let me remind everyone listening here today that it was only in 2015 that our government stopped paying off the debt that they took on to compensate businesses and people forced to stop trading in human lives. And over the last 200 years, the equivalent of £17 billion in today's money has been paid out. This so-called compensation went the wrong way. I spoke with the Stop the Mahangamizi campaign just yesterday, a group co-led by the extraordinary legal expert Esther Stamford Kosei and Kofi Mwalu Klu. She told me that the first thing their campaign group is asking for is to be heard, for us to hear about the impact of intergenerational harm, for us to hear about what communities are doing to prevent this harm, and for us to hear about how they are healing from this harm. She asked me to tell you that real reparations mean not just addressing historical enslavement and the money made in human suffering, but real reparations mean recognizing the critical future role that communities and individuals who continue to suffer have to play. It is vital that communities from the African diaspora are at the heart of the process of any investigation into reparations. Their voices, their stories, their solutions should be the driving force. But even working out how to do that starts with establishing a commission to study the impact and legacy of our country's involvement in slavery and what reparatory justice means. This is why the amendment I have brought to you today calls on the Mayor to support the establishment of an all-party Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry for Truth and Reparatory Justice. I hope you will vote for this amendment. I move the amendment.